Hey everybody, wanted to just come to you. Happy Console Gamer put out a video recently about how much he loved to play his Genesis back in the day, and he got to unleash his inner Sega fanboy. Well, I wanted to expand on that a little bit. I've got one of a few consoles I've got. It's a little dusty. Haven't played it in a while. Been emulating a lot. No room. Anyway, he went about talking about the stuff that you could buy for it. Now I want to talk about the technical advantages of this over every other game system at the time. Okay, this one had a network. It's networkable through this port here, believe it or not. You needed a crossover cable because okay, you need to play with two consoles, two TVs, and the same game, say Zero Tolerance. You needed the crossover cable for it. It would go to the other port too of the other Genesis that you were playing, and you could play one-on-one. Now, I want to talk about these ports for a second. These are cut down parallel ports, not serial ports at all. Parallel type ports. So these are networkable. I mean, you use embedded Ethernet. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the technical things that you could do with it that were unsung, right? That no one really talked about back in the day, and they got discovered, and well, nobody really cares about it now. I care. This is networkable. Okay, it is possible to build a box with embedded Ethernet to go. Now you have to program it on a PC, right? But you can program it to talk to here, to go from here and give it Ethernet capability. Now, what you can do with that beyond that, it's up to you, right? It's up to what's available. All right, I didn't take this one apart. I just got it off the shelf. Okay, wanted to also talk about that. That's the network capability there. The processor, as we all know, is a 16K by Motorola, and or 60K. What is it? I don't remember. The 68K. Golly. 16K, 68K. I will put a specific one in the body of this thing. Okay, anyway, and it was underclocked when it was put in here. So it's running at 7 point something megahertz, right? That can be overclocked. Now, most of your games are not going to be able to run the overclocked run on the overclocked speed. But okay, there is, to my knowledge, a SD reader cart that can take advantage of that. Okay, I believe it's a Stone Age Gamer. He has one for the Genesis. It's an SD you put on modded ROMs, and you play on a modded system. That's another thing that's possible. Another thing regarding the main processor is it's not socketed. You can put a socket on there. Now, this is deeply technical stuff. You open it up, and you have the main board, and you have the main processor. You can take the processor off, put a socket in its place, and drop in another processor, or drop in the same processor. I doubt you'd want to do that because you'd have solder dripping from all the legs, and it wouldn't fit in the socket. But whatever, you get my point. And then you can change out the processor like that. Not that you'd want to. What's in there works well, and the mod is not too hard to do. Okay, for overclocking. But another thing I wanted to talk about is the Z80 secondary processor in here. He mentioned that you could get the power base converter, and you can. I've got one. You can get the power base converter, drop it on top of it, and you can play all your old 8-bit Sega games, the Master System games, right? Yes, you can. And the Z80 takes over as the main processor when that happens. Now, something else. The Z80 is a standard package Z80, right? They make new Z80s in the same package that are expandable. Now, in theory, you could take that processor off, put a socket in its place, and put a daughter board on top of that socket with a new Z80 in it, and gives you all kinds of features. Serial port, PCMCIA support, gives you more data in and out. Gives you all kinds of options. You could put an LCD readout on it, and it would be controlled by the Z80 that you're replacing. And that's another thing. That's the biggest thing right there. The Z80's been around for so long. It's been so well understood. It's been so expounded upon. And this thing has one in it. And heck, at that point, you could also run... now, this is all attached to the Z80, right? You can run 68K as a secondary. I haven't thought about that at all yet, but you could. Okay, but you could run the Z80, and you could run keyboard, mouse, video processor. Now, it's not going to be a badass video processor. It's just going to be something to put, you know, like 16 colors on the screen. But there you have a computer terminal, expanded from one chip, right? That's an idea. I'm not saying it's a great idea. I'm just saying it's doable, because the Z80 it's been done. Z80 was the core of many computers back in the day. The main processor. And that's a secondary sound handler on this thing. And it's still being used in stuff today. Cash registers. I mean, there's so many things you can do with the Z80. They're excellent processors. But anyway, okay, this thing, let me think. We already have a CD expander, right? There's already CD expansion. Z80 can also do that, but don't need it, right? It's already here. I haven't thought too much what to do with this, other than, now this is sitting, the reason the cover's gone, the little red thing, is because I keep this attached to my Model 2 Sega CD, and it's a little dusty because it's been on the shelf. But that's just some of the things that you can do. Now, I'm not talking about the console mods. Let's see, console mod. This one already has the LED mod, and there's also widen the cart slot. You can even leave the doors in place. You just need to take the thing off. There's a little mechanism that you take off the back of the inside shell, and you just zzz, zzz, and you can put Euro carts in there. Let's see, what else we got. You can do the S-Video. This one is not modded for that. This one is not modded for all that stuff. Jeez, I need to go over and clean some stuff. But those are some of the technical stuff you can do with the Genesis, and that's why it's so badass. It's a badass system. And something that not too many people realize is that they had a deal back in the day. They were going to release a terminal add-on for this thing. It was by AT&T. It sat on top, and it gave you keyboard and mouse and modem, and it gave you all kinds of connectivity. Oh, there was a hummingbird. I wanted to get it on film, but he flew off. Anyway, that's what AT&T. Google it. Put in Sega ATT terminal, and it will come up. It's like the Holy Grail, because they were only made in-house at AT&T, as far as I know. Anyway, that's it. Happy console gamer. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you watched it. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.